Vice Chair of the subcommittee, Mr. Fortenberry, has arrived, and he's recognized for such time as he may consume.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for running a little bit behind, but I'll give a brief opening statement and turn to our former colleague, Congressman Gao. Thank you for holding this important hearing as we work to develop effective bilateral relationships with Vietnam. This hearing is of special interest to the Vietnamese diaspora, particularly those in my home state of Nebraska. Many people of Vietnamese descent have chosen to make Lincoln, Nebraska their home and build their American dream there. They contribute immensely to the vitality of our community and have voiced agonized worry about the human rights situation of the Vietnamese government as the Vietnamese government continues to repress groups viewed as challenging political authority, specifically, as was mentioned, country dwellers and minority ethnic groups in Vietnam, such as the Hmong and Montagnard, who live far from the eyes of the foreign news agencies. The persecution also extends to religious minorities. In May of last year, the village of Cang Dao Catholic Parish faced government retribution in the form of 3 lost lives and hundreds of injuries in a funeral procession of all things. Their offense, they were exercising earlier their right of protest against when the government decided to sell their land to build a resort, is my understanding. Simply being a woman or a child in Vietnam can be fraught with danger as well. According to the State Department's Trafficking in Persons Report, Vietnam is both a source and destination country for both sex and labor trafficking of women and of children. With China facing a shortage of women, Vietnamese women are recruited into servitude through fraudulent marriages. The Vietnamese government estimates that approximately 10% of women entering into arranged marriages may become trafficking victims. Women who are fortunate enough to enter into legitimate marriages, with few exceptions, are subject to a 1 or 2 child policy with tragic consequences. Vietnamese women and their families suffered as many as 45 abortions per 100 live births compared to 25 abortions in the United States in the last decade. It was also reported that this abortion practice counted for 11.5% of maternal deaths in Vietnam in 2002. I note that Vietnam was removed as a, quote, country of particular concern in 2006 by the State Department, despite lingering concerns whether that change in status made good sense. While economic development and market reforms have spurred a relative improvement in the living standards of many Vietnamese people, the welfare of the most vulnerable continues to be in jeopardy. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing, and I welcome our witnesses and look forward to your further comments on what I have raised and any other issues that you feel are necessary that we may need to know. Thank you.